Hello everyone. Today, as promised last week, we are going to look at or we are going to try an exercise using Excel on one sample t-test. One sample hypothesis t-test. So let's say we are given this as a question, or this is the situation. Food Tapir is an online food delivery service. They deliver foods to customers around Puncak Alam. Foodtape claims that it delivers order within 30 minutes after getting online orders from customers. So what can you understand? They claim that, Foodtape claims that their delivery time is not more than 30 minutes. Okay, but however, the manager, Encik Busuk, received complaints in regards to the delivery period. So some customers complain to the manager saying that, oh, the delivery time is quite late. We receive our order after berbuka puasa, and sometimes we receive our order during sahur, also which is not good for Encik Busuk. So Encik Busuk would like to investigate the claim, whether is it true that the delivery time is more than 30 minutes. So customers claim that delivery time is more than 30 minutes. So Encik Busuk collected a sample of delivery period from 50 online orders in order to investigate this issue. So remember, we need 5 steps in order to conduct the t-test. The first step is to formulate the hypothesis. So I hope that at this stage, you should be able to write down your hypothesis. So in this question or in this situation, the null hypothesis is the mu is less or equal to 30 minutes as written here or as stated here that the delivery order is within 30 minutes, meaning that it is not more than 30 minutes or equal to 30 minutes. However, the research hypothesis should be written as the hypothesized mean is more than 30 minutes as claimed by some of the customers. So let's say whether we can reject the null or we cannot reject the null hypothesis. So this is the first step. The second step is to select the significant level or sigma. So it is standard. Mostly we will select 0.05 unless the question indicates otherwise. But normally, the significant level is 5% or 0.05. Okay, step number 3 is to select the statistical test. Okay, so we have how many options? It can be Z-test or T-test. So based on the question here, should we use t-test or z-test? Since the population standard deviation is not known or the sigma is not known, we should select the t-test. Okay, sigma unknown. Okay, now we know that we will select the t-test. So this is the formula for the t-test. So we will paste this formula here. Okay, but before that, there are 2 ways in order to make a decision whether to reject the null or not to reject the null. We can use 2 approaches. The first approach is called critical value, and the second approach is called p-value. Okay, let's use the first method, critical value. So what is the formula for critical value? So we use the Excel formula for critical value. So as usual, if you want to type a formula, you have to start with the symbol equal. So critical value is equal to T dot INV. So it will appear here. Just double click on that. And look, in the bracket, you have to fill up the probability and the degree of freedom. So what is the probability? The probability is 1 minus significance level. So we know that our significance level is 0.05. So 1 minus 0.05 is equal to 0.95. Okay? Then comma. How about the degree of freedom? Since we are using T distribution, you should indicate the degree of freedom. So degree of freedom is actually n minus 1. So we know that our n is, okay, wait, hold on. So our n is 50. So we have like 50 orders here. So 50 minus 1 is equal to 49. So we have complete the formula 0.95, comma 49. Just enter. So the critical value is actually 1.68. So where is actually this critical value is located at? Okay, let's go back to our PowerPoint that we used last week. Since we are using critical value test for upper one tail, again, why it is upper one tail? Because the research hypothesis has a symbol of more than. More than meaning that it should be on the right of the tail. So go back here. So we are using this T distribution. The rejection region is here, and the non-rejection area is here. So the critical value should be here. So we know that based on our calculation, our critical value is 1.68. So 1.68 should be somewhere here. Okay. Okay. How about our mean? Now we need to calculate our t-test state. So we have to know what is our sample mean. If you can recall back what you have learned previously on how to calculate mean, it is very simple. It is equal to average of what? Average of the sample. You just select the sample up to here. So the mean of the sample is 23.86, meaning that in average, Food Tapir deliver their online orders within 23.8 minutes. Okay? Okay, so the hypothesized mean is 30 minutes. Where can you get your hypothesized mean? From the question. Now, we look at the value of or the sample standard deviation. Also, we have done this before. So the formula is equal to STD deviation of the sample. Okay, select the whole sample. Press enter. So the sample standard deviation is 8.86. N is the number of observation in the sample. So we know that we have 50. Okay, so we have all the details that we need in order to calculate our t-statistic. So let's calculate our t-statistic. Equal to, put a bracket, x bar or the sample mean, which is here, minus the hypothesized mean. Hypothesized mean is here, 30. Close the bracket, divide by the sample standard deviation, put a bracket again. Sample standard deviation is here. Divide by the square root of the sample. So just type SQRT of square root of the standard of the square root of the standard deviation. Okay, so close bracket. So the t statistic is negative 4.9. So we want to know now whether we can reject the HO or we cannot reject the HO. We have to compare the value of this t statistic with the critical value. So what is the rule? Let's go back here. I'm not sure whether we have the decision of how to reject null or not to reject is written in our previous okay, never mind. So we need to make our decision now in step number 4. Since we have our t-stat of 0.49, meaning that our t-stat is actually smaller than the critical value. Negative 4.9 is definitely smaller than 1.68. So what does that mean? So we go back here. So we know that our t-value of negative 4.9 lies somewhere here in the region of non-rejection. So critical value is here, 1.68 here. Our t-stat value is negative 4.9, meaning that it is not more than critical value. It's somewhere here, which is not within the rejection region. So what can you conclude from that? Since t-stat is less than CV or critical value, fail to reject HO. Okay? So we know that we cannot reject HO, meaning that the claims or the customer claim, whatever that they have claimed saying that delivery is more than 30 minutes, blah, 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 it's not true. Because our t statistics say that we cannot reject HO because the value of t stat is less than the critical value. Okay, I hope you are clear with the critical value approach, and the other approach that you can use to test whether you can reject HO or you cannot reject HO is called p-value. P-value is like looking at or comparing the value of p-value with the sigma. The sigma is 0.05. If the p-value is less than the sigma, you cannot reject HO. But if the p-value that you will get is more than the sigma, you do not reject HO. Again, I repeat, if the p-value is less than sigma, you reject HO. If the p-value is more than sigma, do not reject HO. Okay, so now we want to look at the p-value. So the formula to look for the p-value is equal to 1 minus t distribution. So in the bracket, you have to fill the value of x, degree of freedom, and cumulative. So what does that mean? Okay, x is our t-stat. T-stat is here. Comma, degree of freedom, we know that it is 49. Comma, true. Cumulative means you just type true. So what is the p-value? The p-value is exactly 1.0. So compare 1.0 with 0.05. So what does that mean? 1.0 is bigger than 0.05. P-value is bigger than sigma. So the decision is do not reject HO. Do not reject HO. So the result of the p-value test and critical value test is actually similar. Both tests indicate that you cannot reject HO. So step 5 is making a conclusion. So what conclusion can you make? There is no sufficient evidence to support the claims of the customers because the hypothesis the hypothesis test indicates that the null hypothesis cannot be re cannot be rejected. Okay, so we know based on our not our hypothesis, you cannot reject HO, meaning that the claim of the customers is not true. Whereas Food Tapir deliver their orders within 30 minutes as indicated or as verified by our T statistic test. Okay, so those are the steps that you have to do in order to conduct the one sample T test. Okay, we will move to another example later on. Thank you very much and selamat berpuasa.